The passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, as well as Nigeria's gas initiatives will help transform Nigeria into a gas-based industrialized nation and also create a better managed petroleum industry with more value addition for both investors and Nigerians alike. That's according to Analyst. But they maintain that who becomes Nigeria's next president will determine to a large extent what becomes of the sector eventually. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Petroleum Industry Bill 2021 into law in August 2021 and also approved a steering committee to oversee the process of implementation of the newly signed Petroleum Industry Act, or PIA. And also the gas initiatives of the federal government include the drive to encourage investment in gas production and optimize the nation's enormous gas potential. Now, as the race for the presidency heats up, Nigerians hope that the best candidate emerges who will give the nation's economy a boost. Joining us to discuss the build-up to the 2023 elections, the nation's economy and the petroleum as well as energy sector is an energy expert and public affairs analyst, Zakka Bala. Welcome. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
As always. All right, you've heard about the PIB narration, as we've mentioned earlier, but the question of subsidy payment is still on the front burner and its impact on the economy and, of course, the budgetary considerations in that regard. So I'd like your perspective on the current narrative and, of course, the PIB question as well.
Let me tell you, a lot of people don't understand why Nigerians need subsidy. But we have attempted and deregulated a product or some products of crude oil, and we have seen the consequences. We have deregulated the price of diesel. People are seeing what's happening. If you look at the commercial industrial sectors, strategic industrial sectors that are commercial based, domestic based, and industrial based, you could see they are shutting down now. Working hours have been reduced. People don't know the meaning of subsidy. It's the same thing I will need to tell you also. We deregulated kerosene. You can see the consequence. People don't understand. Subsidy is a universally accepted economic pain cushioning concept. And that simply means if subsidy does not work in Nigeria, that will never in any way invalidate its global relevance and values. What we just need to do is to make sure we look at the strategies we are applying, we recalibrate our steps. If not, I'm telling you, Nigeria will eventually grind to a cliff edge and collapse into the valley. And it is only the oil and gas industry or the energy industry that will save it. So going into 2023, all I can tell you is Nigeria has been suffering from leadership docility. We are experiencing docility in health, mental capacities of our leaders, docility as far as environmental focus is concerned. We have seen docility in so many areas. Going into 2023, we must go for the right candidate. I'm not interested in political parties. I'm not interested in regional alignments and whatever. All I am after is let's look at vibrancy. Let's look at people that have been tested, but fundamentally, what is your health status? What is your intellectual capacity? When we talk about moving from here to there, for some that have had the opportunities of leading either states or as ministers, how many of them have been staying with us within Nigeria? Because we have leaders that I speak to you, current Nigerian leaders, whose spouses are staying abroad, paying bills. Meanwhile, Nigeria is bleeding. And those countries where they are staying in hotels or apartments are mocking Nigeria. These things must never happen. Moving into 2023, the necessary dexterities, the necessary attributes are the things we should look out for. And anybody who qualifies must be allowed to lead Nigeria. There should be only one track for that leader: to lead Nigeria out of economic, social, and nepotic, and if possible, political docility.
I like that term, political docility. And one of the terms that remind me of the past interviews that I've seen with you is when you say planlessness.
Correct.
So knowing that you use that term a lot, and we have a government, or we've seen several administrations that have been reactive at best, and even when they react, it's nothing to write home about.
Correct.
Which candidate, if any, would you say resonates with you in terms of what you deem worth prioritizing ahead of the 2023 general elections?
Okay. First of all, I wish all the candidates well and success. But before I even explain or tell you who I'm hovering about or on, first of all, you're talking about, when I talk about docility, if you have a docile leader, there is what we call an inertia. That inertia will be in health, in administration, in finance. So you will require a very strong force to overcome that inertia and get even the country moving. We are talking about a country of about 200 million citizens, right? Then we have strategic industrial sectors, strategic commercial sectors, and strategic domestic sectors relying on less than 10,000 megawatts of electricity. Is that not shameful? So let me go to now probably the candidates based on my assessments. First of all, what I try to look at is I look at everything hinges on security. If there is no security, then the country will be thrown into all kinds of calamities. For some of them, first of all, I was looking at security, and I noticed that, strange enough, Kogi State is probably one of the most secured states in Nigeria. But I didn't stop at that, and I just noticed that Kogi State has border with 9 states and the FCT. Nasarawa in the northeast, Benue in the east, Anambra, Enugu, and Delta in the south. Then you have Kwara, Edo, and Ekiti in the west. Then you have the stubborn Niger State in the northwest and FCT in the north. Do you know what is happening? If you look at all these states I'm talking about and the way Kogi State is able to manage or was able to manage security issues, I'm telling you, anybody that had the opportunity of leading Kogi states today should be given an opportunity. But I didn't stop at that. What I was looking at this, when you talk about security, I was looking at farmers. When you talk about farming today, can people go to farm in Kaduna State? No. You can't go to farms in Zamfara. You can't go to farms in Plateau. You can't go to farms in even Benue. But in Kogi State today, people can go to farm. That is a pointer. How the governor was able and is still doing it between you and I don't know. That prompted me to go to their website, first of all. I think kogipedia.net, and I couldn't believe what I saw. Another thing again I just discovered is this. When you even talk about mineral endowments, whether crude oil and gas or solid mineral, I noticed that in like the northern parts of the country, when you talk about solid minerals, nearly all the other states, nothing is happening. But in Kogi State, they have iron ore, they have feldspar and other things. But do you know the key thing I noticed there? At least when you talk about dolomite, you talk about limestone and bauxite, they produce cement there. Then on the oil and gas, I noticed the AKK project is starting from there. Ajaokuta, Kaduna, and Kano project. How they were able to manage peace, because without peace, nothing will happen. How they are able to manage peace and corporate social responsibilities that made people to be able to be productive there, I don't know. Because that AKK project will lead to the production of Nigerian intra-gas distribution. But many people don't know what we can get from gas. Keep crude oil aside. From gas alone, you can drive the gas turbines. When you drive the gas turbines and generate electricity, there will be glut at the filling stations. Nobody will be bothered about petrol or diesel. But one important thing again is this: when you talk about food security, from natural gas, you will get ammonia. From ammonia, you will get urea. From urea, you will get fertilizer. So anybody that had the opportunity of leading either a state, either a district, or an enclave where peace was guaranteed for such activities to be going on, I'm telling you, if that person throws the heart, I will support him.
All right, I'm still going to take you on the leadership issue, specifics now. Why was it important for the president to hold on to the oil ministerial portfolio throughout his tenure? And going forward towards 2023, how impactful will this be for whoever takes over after the elections?
To be honest, it's only Mr. President that can explain that. But as far as I'm concerned, I am interested in somebody that has the fiscal strength, right? That has the intellectual capacity, that has the intellectual proficiency to lead. In other words, if something is happening in any oil field, my president should be able to wear his coveralls, get there, and check what is going on. When you say there is corruption, whether in NNPC or where, what volume of knowledge? We know presidents are supposed to have lieutenants. What volume of knowledge should my president have? If he has some knowledge of accounting or financial management, he should be able to say, like the way Obasanjo used to do. Obasanjo would say, bring me the books. He should be able to check these things. But when you have presidents whose records of health status are hidden, you know, proficiencies are hidden, those things are not good for Nigeria. And within the context of Nigeria, believe me, one or two people stand out. But somebody like to me, Yahya Bello, even based on demography, he stands out. There was something again I noticed. I was surprised when I discovered that this guy is not a religious or tribal or nepotic bigot. I was shocked when I learned that in Kogi State, all the vice chairmen of local government
it seems,
are
if I may comment, it seems you're homing your reflections on just one individual.
No. There are many. I'm just telling you the qualities. If I looked at the age bracket. We're talking about demography now. When you talk about calamities we're experiencing today, is the youths. So when you are talking about who will talk to the youth, we're talking about somebody who should be youthful. But when you talk about advisors, you can get somebody that is probably your grandfather's mate. Because advisors are people, I'm not talking about personal assistants. Advisors are people who have been there. They experience it. They made their own mistakes, you know, and now they should be able to advise you. I will never support a youth being an advisor, but a leader I can support. If you have a youth, you know, with what has happened, and we had a murderous character like a Peter Nwachukwu, if you have a youth with the vibrancy, especially somebody in his 40s and possibly early 50s, people like murderous or allegedly murderous Nwachukwu should be shot.
We have about 1 minute to round this up, but I recall that Nigeria was commended for being on the right track by declaring 2021 to 2030 the decade of gas. So how will the candidates that you prefer exploit the country's gas resources and drive economic growth with natural gas? And we have about a minute.
Yes, the answers are simple. Look for people that have that proficiency, because corruption has been a major thing. Who is there? Who are they? I learned some people are accountants, but I also learned that Governor Abello is not only an accountant, but he's a chartered accountant. So I was not surprised when I heard that Kogi State scored 100%, but many of them are there. All I want is hit them hard, the 3H.
All right,
hit all the aspirants hard, HHH,
all
and
right.
The best candidates should be given the opportunity.
Noted. Bala Zakka, Public Affairs Analyst, of course, also a consultant in the oil and gas sector. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Many thanks for your thoughts on those issues. Good
Thank you.